and welcome to Political 360. Political 360 is a news and current affairs program that promotes democracy, good governance, and human rights. I'm your host, Mishek Moyo. We are live from Mufrira on 97.7. This is Mafken FM Radio. You can also get us loud and clearly on Radio Garden, including the Mafken FM Facebook page and other social platforms. Remember, this is a special paid-for program. And on this special paid-for program, we talk to PF, Presidential Hopeful, Honorable Makebi Zuluu. But before we talk to Honorable Makebi Zuluu, we are going to have a build-up on the show. Honorable Zuluu will join us at exactly 15:05. In studio, we are glad to be joined by Mr. Giftchwale from the PF. He is the PF Media Director in Mufrira. At the same time, he is the youth chairperson. Remember, we are having a build-up of the program. Later on, we talk to Mr. Chanda Kawe. Mr. Kawe is the campaign coordinator for Honorable Makebi Zuluu. And at one point, he served as the district commissioner for Mufrira. Mr. Chwale, good afternoon, and how are you?
Good afternoon, our listeners. Totela paku chitatuni nikulu yumulabasa wa Mafken FM. We hope you are going to enjoy the program.
Thank you so much. At this point, allow me to introduce Mr. Chanda Kawe. Comrade, good afternoon, and how have you been? Hello, good afternoon, sir, and how have you been? Hello, good afternoon, comrade. Okay, before we get to Mr. Chanda Kawe, the coordinator for the Makebi Zuluu campaign, let's just get a word from Mr. Chwale. What do we expect on the program today?
Yeah, mwebeka lamfurila abena kopa belt bonse. We are aware that this program is being listened to in Chingola, Chirilabombwe, Kitwe, and all the surrounding areas of the Copper Belt, including Impongwe, Lufuanyama. Mwebena Lufuanyama, Mlishani yuko turemiposha, abena Kitwe turemiposha. Hii program yenu tuamiretela ilelo ukutila muyumfuile mwebene mwebekala chalo. Imwe limbite tumukwanishe ukulanda face to face na ma presidential candidates aya Patriotic Front echo ifwe pamonga ba Mufrira District Media Team iriwe bumberi yapangirwe na ba Dr. Dominic John Mwale batontonkenye ukutira batampi okuleta ama presidential candidates ukutira balande na imwe no kuyumfuila efyo bakamichitila ngachakuti basalwa ukubentungulushi ya Patriotic Front pali inonshita lekeni tumfwe fintu ba Mishek Moyo efyo bala tutungulula iliyo bakulalanda na ba Chanda Kabwe na ba president ba Makebi Zuluu.
Okay, we're going to have presidential hope for Mr. Makebi Zuluu at exactly 15:05. And
fintu iliyo tulelela ukuchita connect ba Chanda Kabwe kutila bese balande na bena Mfulila na ba Copper Belt bonse ndefwa ya ukulanda na okay, ndefwa yokweba abena Mfulila okutila bakutikishe and bechita misunderstand chintu ichiri chonse okutila chinshi baletera fye ba Makebi Zuluu ninshi bambi intungulu shitashishile ngafiri afine twaletele presidential candidate ba mundu bile efyo nalelo line tuletele ba Makebi Zuluu ne bumba liabo. So do not worry, do not think that we are endorsing or we are choosing. We are not choosing anyone. What we want is for you to listen for yourselves, the voice of reason, the voice that is going to carry this country into the next general election in 2026.
Okay, it seems our guest is ready now. Afternoon, sir, and how have you been?
Good afternoon, comrade. Good afternoon. How are we? Long time.
long time. How is Lusaka and how are the campaigns moving on?
Lusaka is good. God has blessed us with rain. Although today it's quite hot, the campaigns are going very well.
Okay.
We are doing well, thanks.
It's been a while since you spoke to the people of Mufulira, and they have been yearning to listen to you, to hear from you. Where have you been?
I've been around a lot of stress, but the people of Mufulira made me who I am today. I can't forget about the people of Mufulira. They have been my pillars in the political journey, in my civil servant life, the public life. The people of Mufulira have been a pillar. Generally, the people of Copperbelt, especially Mufulira, have been the pillar in my life. So I feel good to be back home.
Thank you so much. And we are told you are the campaign coordinator for Honorable Makebi Zuluu. How is the picture looking like countrywide?
Yes, indeed, comrade. I am the campaign coordinator for Honorable Makebi Zuluu because I'm the testimony to the leadership of Makebi Zuluu. I have seen what Honorable Zuluu is able to do. A young man who represents the future, the young man who is smart, the young man who wants to make sure that every corner of this country is developed, the young man who wants to unify the people of Zambia, the young man who wants to bring unity, but very experienced person. So I am coordinating his campaign, and so far we are overwhelmed. People are calling for new leadership, and my candidate, our candidate, your candidate, Makebi Zuluu, brings that on the table. That he's a man that can be trusted with the leadership. He's a man that has demonstrated integrity, he values this country, and is passionate about tomorrow. Tomorrow matters to Makebi Zuluu. So
do we see Honorable Zuluu on the ballot August 2026?
Yes. Oh, yes. It's so determined, as you see. The Zambian people who decide. Makebi is for Zambia. Makebi is offering alternative leadership to the people of Zambia. So, come 2026, I see him on the ballot paper. I see him winning. I see the people of Zambia, especially my people from Mufulira, my hometown. The people have made me, the people I've worked with, the people I've seen and tested what I'm able to do. The people understand my abilities and my capacities. The people have seen what Chadaka can do. So when we support a person, we understand what a person can do. So come 2026, MZ8, he wins. MZ8 brings hope, new hope to the people of Zambia, Copperbelt, Mufulira in particular.
And why should the Copperbelt rally behind Makebi Zuluu?
Comrade, I am the coordinator of Makebi Zuluu, campaign Makebi Zuluu, born and bred on the Copperbelt. I understand the challenges of Copperbelt. Nakulira kumigoti. Twamono uchushi twapita mu Copperbelt. And this is why some of us in the government, we tried to attend to the problems that the people of Copperbelt are facing. So if we kumuleta kumigoti, turefu wa kuturubula, turefu wa kuishwefu ya chitika kumigoti. Fwebe kalakoni fwa kumiyazwalanda ati, wikala mpundu, mfwekwe mpundu shilepona. So fwebe ya Copperbelt, Bashmain, ama farmers in the rural parts of Copperbelt, not wish from Kaliture Pitam. It's not that strondolo, why people should go for Makebi Zuluu. It's not that people should go very well. That we should feel it. So we believe that Makebi is the right person.
We'll be talking to the candidate at 15:05, and finally, we will take advantage of this interview, sir, to talk about your political journey. Is it true that you are coming to Mufulira 2026 to contest as Member of Parliament before we get into the main interview?
Comrade, today is all about MZ. My political journey, my ambitions, those are things we can discuss later. And I know that I have the heart for the people of Mufulira. I am who I am today because the people of Mufulira have contributed to my name, my political life. They have contributed. So I have everything to give to people of Mufulira. What we are seeing in Mufulira is shameful, and I'm not happy to see my brothers and sisters. Even things that Comrades Nisha, you and I, you covered me. We worked very hard, for example, to end the center. I'm a pollution near sulfur dioxide there. We worked very hard. Are you happy? Are the people of Mufulira happy? No. So those are the things that we are going to discuss. I am also mindful that I have my brothers who also have the capacity to deliver. So among ourselves, I have my brother Manda, the former DC, and works in the same office as my brother. These are the things that we discuss as family and say, okay, we don't want to divide the votes. What happens? Who takes it? What? So those things we'll be able to discuss. But today, we're talking about the Honorable Makebi Zuluu.
And that's the discourse we're going to have with Honorable Makebi Zuluu at exactly 15:05. That's the campaign coordinator for Honorable Makebi Zuluu. That's a former permanent secretary, Mr. Chandakawe. He also served as a DC from Mufulira. We will talk to you after 16 hours. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Comrade. Thank you.
Okay, we are doing a build-up. We are building up this program. We are having at 15:05. We'll be talking to PF presidential hopeful Honorable Makebi Zuluu. We'll be discussing his presidential bid and other pressing national matters. We are doing a build-up. And in studio, we are joined by Mr. Gifta Chwale, the PF media director, who is also the youth chairperson for Mufulira. Let us have your reaction regarding what Mr. Chandakawe has said. We are told it's a bushfire and the campaign is going on very well.
Mwebe na Copper Belt. Mwayu mfuila, abwabalela abachilalanda, ni Chandakabwe. Chandakabwe bali bombele pamonga ba district commissioner kuno kumufulira. At the same time, Vice Bomba, pamonga ba DMMU coordinator. Ile elo, niba coordinator ya campaign yaba Makebi Zuluu. Ba tulondo lwela, echo ba chisire decide ukubomba na ba Makebi Zuluu. Bali mwene mo fimo, bali mwene mo leadership, and we all know that we have got over 10 presidential candidates. So each paniche switch a patriotic front. And
I hope, Mr. Chwari, you are going to give us all the 10 presidential candidates. I know we have previously featured Honorable Brian Mundwili on this radio program, but you allow me also to prop up a program, all things being equal. This evening, 2030, we'll be talking to another PF presidential hopeful in the name of Dr. Chitalu Chirufya, just to discuss issues centered on the PF convention. The PF is billed, set to have a convention in the next couple of days.
Yes, we are going to have a convention. That's why we are very grateful that Mafken FM has given us a platform so that we can bring our presidential candidates, our able presidential candidates, not one, but almost every presidential candidate will come on Mafken FM and interact with the people of the Copper Belt, so that the people of the Copper Belt, including the people who go to vote at the convention, who are the delegates, will go to the convention with an informed mind. When they are voting, they know who they will vote for, because these people who come on this radio station, no kui popolo elabene imirimo eyo bakesa bombela bena Zambia ngababa sana. Remember, ngachakuti twasale ntungulu shishesu pamonga ba PF intungulushi eikawina mu 2026. So that before kupanga mistake, we want to hear from the people. The people are going to listen, and today we brought Honorable Mundubile. You people of Mufulira and the Copper Belt listened. Today, Mufulira District Media Team has once again brought Honorable Makebi Zuluu to explain to the people of Mufulira, the people of the Copper Belt, ama problems yantu bakwete efyo baka ya chimfya noku ya chita resolve. Then imwe mwebe na Mufulira mwebe na Copper Belt mwala umfwa okutila nintungulushia kama muna menshi ili obakulalanda na
1505 we talk to Honorable Makebi Zuluu. I'm joined by Mwengu Sirumbe. Good afternoon, Mwengu.
Afternoon, Mishek. Afternoon, Mr. Chibale, and to all the listeners this afternoon.
It's going to be hot.
Looking forward to this conversation as well, and looking forward to what is being presented this afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a breather.
0.7. Apologies for interruption, but we still proceed with the program this afternoon as we continue. And this afternoon, we were getting hold of aspiring presidential candidate for the Patriotic Front, Honorable Makebi Zuluu, who joins us this afternoon online. Good afternoon, President Zuluu, and thank you for joining us.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Thank you very much for joining us. Apologies, networks doesn't seem to be in our favor this afternoon, but we are glad that you are joining us on the platform this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Right.
Thank you so much, President Zuluu, and I hope we're going to have a good discourse with you. First things first, President Zuluu, your name has been in the news the last few days, and eminently for good reasons. You seem to be upbeat, and the fortunes seem to be siding with you. Why are you the best candidate to get the PF presidency?
Well, I think we bring a breath of fresh air onto the scene, a breath of fresh air in that we are looking to develop our country in the most sincerest of ways. It is not a talk show. Ngapiri abantu balanda ukutira tukesa chitaifi tukesa fixefi when nothing much is happening. The first thing that we have to do is, how is governance number? What exactly are we doing in terms of governance as a nation? There are a lot of things that people want to see happen. There are a lot of things that people have yet to see happen. Why is it that mining towns like Mufulira, or indeed the Copper Belt itself, why is it that it's going down? And meanwhile, plan that if you're Kwata, Murikopa, mining towns we used to do good in terms of football. Why is it that we're going down? In terms of production, mines, people had jobs. Why is it that we're going down? So the breath of fresh air that we are bringing onto the scene is that we are bringing in a holistic approach towards development, starting with governance systems. Our governance systems need to be realigned to meet the aspirations of the people. Are supposed to be finding meaning in having a government. Apanomba, people are not really finding meaning in government because they are not seeing what the government is doing. It appears as though government or those in government are only interested in pleasing themselves. But the agenda that we come with, which we are going to elaborate on, is a developmental one, an all-inclusive one. Not to the Saratawa, Awe, Ababa Fuminoku, Ababa Fumoku, parents, but we are looking at beneficiation for each and every person, starting with how are we running institutions of government? Are we practicing favoritism? Are we choosing who to employ or who not to employ? What is the role of the youth in the development agenda of this country? Or we have a plan for them. All those are things that are supposed to be discussion points that all of us should be talking about. What is the development agenda for each and every area that we are in? For example, in Mufulira itself, what is the development agenda that we have for Mufulira? What is it that we did before we came into government? What is it that we are doing now? Those are the discussions that we have to be having now, and we have to be having honest discussions. matter. If you but I'll have you lead the discussion so that we're responding to what exactly people want.
Yes, as we are building up this conversation, President Zuluu, we just want to get your views regarding what is happening within the PF. You have internal wrangles. With these internal wrangles, Honorable Zuluu, do you feel the PF will emerge victorious and sort out these problems? And the other issue which the listener out there want to know is that if the PF continue having these challenges, these problems, which platform, which vehicle are you going to use in 2026 to stand as Republican president?
To start with, the Patriotic Front Party is a very interesting organization. Interesting in the sense that we are a people who, no matter how much we differ within the party, we are still united. We have seen attempts to take away the party from the owners or from the people that belong to it. These attempts have seen the matter going to court. But you may have noticed that every time there's an attempt to take over the party, those who attempt to take over the party only go away with a paper. The people still remain much funny. And the reason the people still remain much funny is because the Patriotic Front is an ideology. It is people that are galvanized around an ideology. The pro-poor ideology that we have as PF is what has galvanized all of us, such that those that have gone away with the paper, in the way that Chavinga claims to be president of PF, there's no one who follows Chavinga. Chavinga can't have a meeting anywhere. But then the Patriotic Front Party, as you know it, continues to meet. We continue to talk to people, and you know where the real PF is. It's for that reason that you are recognizing me as an aspiring presidential candidate in PF. You have recognized Linda as an aspiring presidential candidate in PF, and all the other candidates, including Honorable Miles Sampa, as an aspiring candidate, because we know that is where the genesis of this was, and he got to realize that no, the rightful place where the party has to be, we have to go back under the leadership or the true leadership of the party, as was previously recognized before in Ngaratorate Leba UPND Shaishire Chinjama paper to register our societies. So do not be mistaken. You may see or you may think that there's really a big fight in PF, but we always emerge victorious. There was a fight in 2015 that almost saw the party coming to being divided. That fight was possibly worse than the one that you are possibly observing from the outside. But we'll unite around the cause and run with it. We'll fight for PF. We'll fight for the restoration of PF and participate in the next election as PF. But should we fail to get PF back, we are not short of ideas. We are not short of plans as to how we are going to take over government. Because what we have to do is deal with the country, deal with the problems that the country is facing. And we are committed to that cause because we know that most of our people are people who are poor, are people who are struggling to get employment, are people who are struggling to feed on a daily basis, need solutions to the problems that they are having. People are hungry. It's for that reason that almost at any given point, people are saying, give us a candidate for PF, give us a candidate. We know what we don't want, but give us a candidate. That fight or that call for a candidate in PF is because people miss the times when the prioritization was prioritization of people that are in need. They miss those times. They miss the times when a government promised and delivered on its promises. Not if it no, uliparishinga inoishita. Awe dola ikesa pali 12 kwacha, uliparishinga inoishita. Awe fertilizer mkalashita pali 250, uliparishinga inoishita. I was listening to VP yesterday when she was saying that no, fertilizer in the remotest of areas is costing 1,050 kwacha. Overandirepo mailo. Number 1,050 kwacha. 850 kwacha. Overandirepo. Promise wa HH. Hey, that is a broken promise. Promises that gave hope to people, but all of us are in a hopeless state right now because we cannot, our lives can't be sustained because of the cost of living. So, because if you do not do that, it's the opposite of what they said. People are saying, take us back to where we used to be. And that place is where PF comes in as an answer. PF had started a project to build the Mfulira District Hospital. This project was going to have a mother shelter, it was going to have a theater, it was going to have an outpatient department, it was going to have different facilities that were going to be answering to the needs of the people in Mfulira. Number what's happening? The moment my UPND should empower, they stopped that project. They didn't carry on with that project. What did they do? They decided they're going to be doing other things. In the mines, they push their own people there. Who have been finding a living from the mining sector have been chased from areas where they used to make a living. Hospitals, like I said, the Mfulira District Hospital has not been completed. People are being referred to Ndola and Kitwe now, which is a problem. People should not be going to Ndola and Kitwe. By now, they should have been attended to right there in Mfulira at Mfulira District Hospital. And there's been no reason that has been given as to why they abandoned that project. Takwava, some government, if you don't do that, you finish because the agenda is for Zambia. It is not for a party. And PF understands that mission very well, that the agenda is for Zambia, the agenda is for development of Zambia. We were building a school there, which is only 11 kilometers from the central business district. That school was going to have 22 classrooms. It was going to have a clinic. It was going to have a lab. It was going to have an assembly hall, administration block, a library, and 24 houses for teachers. What did the UPND do? They stopped that project. Now, what was the essence of stopping this project? What wrong have the people of Mfulira done to deserve this kind of treatment where a district hospital is stopped? The building of a school is stopped, which was going to benefit the people. It's not like people were going to be going to the hospital were going to be PF only. It was going to save the whole community. It's not like the people were going to be going to Mulundu Secondary School were going to be PF only. It was going to be everyone, including the UPNP themselves. It is a way that we as PF, we're going to create employment. How do you create employment? You develop infrastructure where you're going to employ those people that you intend to put in. That is the project that we embarked on. This project was stopped. We were going to have pupils going to that school. It was going to cater for the copper belt. But what has happened? It has been stopped. We're going to have a modern market. A modern market. We're going to have banks at that market. We're going to have intermine bus station at that modern market. What has happened? It has still been stopped. Are these the things that we want to continue with? Is this what we want to do for our people? Of course, on our part, we're saying the people of Mfulira and the people of the Copper Belt deserve better. They deserve attention. All these things that have been stopped deserve attention. So at the end of it all, as PF, we surround ourselves around this idea that we need to take development to the people. And these ideas, we as PF will overlook the differences that we have amongst ourselves. We will pick a leader and run with this vision. this pro-poor vision that responds to the aspirations of our people on the ground.
I know, President. I know, Honorable Zulu. We are going to discuss key thematic areas centered on mining, health, and agriculture. But let us build on further. In a few days, the PF is getting to the convention, and independent observers are saying you might emerge as leader of the PF. We'll cross the bridge when we get there. Now, the other question is, President Zulu, what is going to happen if you're going to hit a snag at the convention? Are you going to hold back? Are you going to support the candidate who is going to emerge victorious?
In PF, we believe that democracy is a marketplace of ideas. What is at play in PF is that we are competing on ideas as to what ideas are best going to respond to the pro-poor policy that we have as government. I'm a candidate today. Now, we have decided to say we are going to rally behind a person that is going to emerge victorious out of this. Because in any event, we are not even competing, as it were. We're just offering ourselves as leaders for the party to eventually lead this country to get to a place where all that we have in our manifesto, the ones that, the manifesto that we have containing the promises that we've made to the Zambians is achieved. So we are all around an ideology and not individuals. And that is the reason we're going for a convention, so that we can pick a leader. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having a convention if the intention was to split afterwards. So the idea of the convention is to pick the leader, renew the mandate of the leaders, and run with a vision that will develop Zambia.
If you don't win, you drop back your presidential ambition?
For the party and the country, will continue aspiring. Not winning does not mean that you fall back. It means that you've learned one way of how not to do things, and you have to continue fighting on. So we'll continue fighting on to offer leadership to the country and put in our best abilities forward to say this is the reason we feel as a party that we can have. PF is not short of leaders, and we are a democracy. We don't believe in one after another. We will be able to offer leadership to this country and to the party.
Let's now dwell
It can only be one at a time.
One at a time. Let's now dwell into your agenda for Zambia if you are given that opportunity to be on the ballot next year. Let's start with the mining sector, Honorable Zulu. Everything has to do and is centered on mining. Zambia's GDP is dependent on the mining sector. How do you describe the mining sector, the performance of the mining sector this far, and what is your agenda if given a chance to get into State House regarding mining?
So far, the mining sector is on its knees. With the prices of copper, the prices of gold going up, what is it that we are benefiting? Let's look way back into history. The time Zambia got its independence and the mines were being run, when ZCCA was at its top, we saw that the development on the copper belt was top-notch. The roads on the copper belt were good. The provision of services was good. The support to our sports fraternity was good. What has happened now? Everything has been going down the drain. Worse now than ever before, because we have put individuals that have an interest in that mine for personal benefit to take over the reins of power. What we have to do is have patriots take over the reins of power. Patriots will put the needs of Zambians first. And we are saying that how can Zambia benefit from the mines? We need investors. We have no quarrel with that. But this investment that we are bringing in, for whose benefit is it coming in? We have seen that over the years, the so-called investors that have been brought in have always been posting negatives in terms of profit. Takwala wemuntu uleshitumbua every day ulepanga losi, but you still continue ukushitumbua. It means there's something wrong we are doing, or we are duping the Zambian people. Takwala, where we favor the mines and say we are going to give you these tax incentives, and yet there is no beneficiation on the communities. Abe kalama mine, wash mine. Finch waresanga mumma mine. Mwewe kala kumfudira, mwewe kala kundola, kukitwe, kuchile awombo na chingwa. Finch waresanga mumma mines. We have to measure development by what people are benefiting from the mines. Ground Homeland, where the Zambian government won Kulanda, where $1 billion was supposed to be given to the Zambian government. What deals have they struck that up to now this $1 billion has not been paid to the Zambian government? What deals has this government struck that SAM has been given back to Vedanta? What deals have been struck? When we said we want beneficiation for the Zambians, Ama dam sites, which were benefiting the Zambians, as PF we said, let's create cooperatives that are going to be benefiting from these dam sites. What have we done? We have pushed away the cooperatives where people were benefiting, the communities, the local communities were benefiting. So our people have nothing to do. And because they have nothing to do, the levels of crime have only gone up. We had said, what is going to be the level of participation in mining for our people? If they can't participate, say in dam sites, using AMA cooperatives like we had done before, you may be aware of One Pride, one of the cooperatives that was being used, and that resulted into beneficiation of the communities. What has happened to that? Instead, we have seen people come all the way from Lusaka to go and mine for, on the copper belt, moving out those that were local. We have seen people, in terms of procurement has been favoring people that belong to the UPND, who know nothing about the mines. We know that, okay, the one who supplies this product to the mines is this one. The one who supplies this other product is that other one. When you check, you find that all extra supply one government. Is that what we intended to do? Is that what the plan was? That we change government so that the beneficiaries are government officials or party officials. That's not why we changed government. People changed government because they thought a better solution was going to be given to the problems that they were having than the one that was being provided for. But so far, but over and above what we planned to do as PF, there is more that can be done. Why don't we restrict procurement to locals in this case? Why don't we allow participation of the locals in procurement fully so that they benefit to the people that are living in those areas? Like what happened in Chingola recently, we know that the people were complaining about Sensei more than they were complaining about the market. Yes, if you have to get market freely, our markets should not be burnt. When they are burnt, the government should be able to respond. But even in those markets, the business had gone down. Business went down because benefit we're no longer benefiting from Sensei, because other interests have been put ahead of them. Local people have been put aside. So if local people do not benefit from the mines, Wash Mine shall benefit from the mines, there is no one who's going to go to the market and buy anything. People need to have money in their pockets before they can buy. It's for that reason that the more money in your pockets. That money was supposed to be gotten from opportunities that are made available to the people there. So in the areas of mining, therefore, if into what God, if government should be the one to buy. That's what we had said. We said government should be the one to buy, so that when government buys, twasunga the Bank of Zambia. If we back our currency with gold, kwacha yesu kutiashita gain strength. Now kwacha ashita gain strength, it means that the buying power of the money that you have is going to be stronger, and that brings down the cost of living. Because in the Ramashas Shakwata Maka, upon the Ramashas Tashakwata Maka, it's because there's nothing to back our currency. What we are saying is that our way in the Naisa Pona importation is in the Rama, Quacha, Ikafmapadi 17 Quacha, Opoyari, Ikesapadi 12 Quacha, now 43 Quacha. I don't like to lie. But is that what is happening? What is happening? And we have started this program to say, let gold be bought by the Bank of Zambia. We have gold reserves to strengthen our kwacha. That was going to enable us to pay our debt. We're not going to be crying about debt. We had a plan to settle this debt, and we have started implementing this plan. But what have we seen? Instead of government being the one to set up a plant, a gold processing plant, it's private persons that are setting up. Those in government, Everest set up gold processing plant. Ukokumumbwa, they set up a gold processing plant costing about $22 million. $22 million. The Bank of Zambia cannot quote $22 million to process gold. And we can be able to process the gold, keep the gold in our reserves, buy from our people whom we give opportunities to adequate a program in mining where we used to give equipment to people that were exploring gold. We give them equipment as government, let them find the gold, and we buy from them.
Just to cut you, honorable
government officials, they're the ones that have to buy every week gold instead of benefiting the Zambians. It's government officials or party officials who are benefiting from this.
I just want you to shed more light, Honorable Zuluu. You talk about benefits. The local people should benefit. Just touch more on that. Are you saying that if given an opportunity to be the Republican president, you are going to introduce measures to restructure the mining taxation regime? And I also want you to touch on casualization in the mining sector.
Okay. So the most efficient way that we can create employment is to look at the local resource that we have. The local resource that we have is copper and other minerals that are there. Now, if that is going to be what we have, why should we have casual workers in a resource that is the first in the country, in a resource that is supposed to change the fortunes of our country? Why should we have our people be subjected to being casuals when the resource that we're saying we want is the one that is the most important for the country? Why is it that we want others to benefit more from our resources and we remain with crumbs? That is not the case. These incentives that we're giving to mining companies, are they balanced to ensure that Zambia benefits and they also get their measure of profit? No, we won't charge you VAT, we won't charge you import tax on these issues. We give them that incentive. And then after they mine the gold, or indeed our copper, we tell them, don't pay taxes. We remove the mineral royalty tax. We remove the windfall taxes. These are taxes that are supposed to build our hospitals. These are taxes that are supposed to enable us take care of things like load shedding. Load shedding, it's also affecting the local people in our communities because the investment that we're supposed to put in that sector is coming from the very mines that we are giving away. Giving away, I'm saying giving away because we are selfish in that the ones that are giving this for being corrupted are willing to get very little for the benefit of the miners to the detriment of whether they are minerals. these minerals are very important for us. And they are the answer to most of the problems that we are having. Like we have said, we're going to balance the issue of debt using gold as a backup. We're going to make sure that our local communities benefit by making sure that priority is given to the Zambians to supply to the mines and get paid. We're going to ensure that this transfer of skills, takwaba opotuambirama mines, to learn that we still need expatriates until this time. Why do we need expatriates until this time? Then expatriates. We can't produce expatriates. As a matter of fact, in terms of copper production, we should have been the ones exporting human resource to other countries that have copper for them to benefit from Zambians. Because Zambians who have experience, they have experience because now we're copper. And since now we're copper, to be able to go out and work elsewhere. Instead, the experts that are coming from countries that do not have copper. So that's another opportunity that we've not explored to the best level ever. Our students in schools, in universities, when it comes to industrial attachments, are supposed to be getting that from our mines here. But we have our students going to places like Congo to get attachment in our mines, and not in our very own, because our mines are in places where mwenye ewa shamaini, you find that the majority of the workers are mwenye. Ngaba songu, the majority are songu. What has happened to our local resource? What has happened to our people that are living in those areas? What is the School of Mines for at the University of Zambia when there is no employment for those that are going there? Quite school for metallurgy, and yet they can't find any places kuma mines. So we have to put local content in the mining area. What is the percentage of local content? What is the share that we are going to have as Zambia in this? It is not wrong to renegotiate a mining agreement. Botswana has done it, and they are benefiting from that.
Just to interject you, President Honorable Zuluu, just there on mining agreements, Honorable Zuluu, that's a very interesting stance. You say it is not wrong to renegotiate mining agreements. It brings me to my next question. What is your position on the two local mines, KCM and Mopani? Previously, we've hosted other opposition leaders, and their stance has been if they formed government, they were going to take over these two mines. As Makebi Zuluu, what is your position on KCM and Mopani?
See, when it came to KCM, the idea of placing KCM under liquidation by the PF was for purposes of finding a suitable investor who understood that local beneficiation was primary in our understanding. And you may agree with me, those that dealt with the mine, that the time the mine was under liquidation, people started getting paid. Those that had not been paid for a very long time started getting their money. Of course, there are things that were working in the pipeline that did not come because we got out of power. But by this time, we were going to ensure that KCM was as viable as it can possibly be. We agree with PF that Vedanta, if MEPO, that's what they had said. Then the moment they came in, there was one press briefing where Vakateka Valandirati, I want whatever poverty at your Vedanta Eresa, Takes Vedanta, that will understand Vedanta. Then the next thing, Vaingiram Parliament at yo, I'm proud to announce that Vedanta is back. Okay. Now, since Vedanta is back, who knows what agreement was struck? Do we as the people know what agreement has been struck? And who are the beneficiaries of that agreement? Can anyone say that number is better than it was before? Can anyone say that? I have not heard of anyone saying that it's any better. Mopani was ours. Mopani was given back to government. And government was to find a suitable partner to run Mopani with. What has happened? Why some company, not at all Ishwama company. We're a company without any assets, a company which was recently incorporated, comes and takes over the mine, and they're saying, but for Congo and Darama, Kuma Bank, I had Monomu in Zambia. We thought investors were going to be coming into Zambia with money. We thought investors were going to come in with money, proper money for us to see that this money is coming for investment in our country. Now, but I'm sure negotiate with our local banks. Therefore, so that to state developed mine. Is that the investment that we want? Why is it that these people who come to invest, when they bring in money, they only bring in money for salaries? The profits that they make on those minerals that they sell, they don't come in. The investment activity. If we some country, Shama salaries, Narama salaries for casuals, we can't run an economy like that. We can't be selfish in the manner that our wealth is being distributed. Every day we hear of discoveries of places with minerals, new explorations coming on. But what has been the benefit on our economy? We have not had that. And mainly, this is because the people that we thought were better negotiators have only negotiated for personal benefit. That should not be the case. They've only negotiated for themselves to have a stake in these areas, and nothing that has been going down to the people. It's for that reason that Kulin Salam Copper Belt, people are hungry because there's nothing for them to do. Projects that were started have been stopped. They could have been funded from the very mining investment that we have. The power situation, it could have been, it can and should be funded from the mining profits that we are making, the dividends that are being declared from time to time. Proper declaration, not if you have a fifitore for Shimishuku, but we need a system that is going to be robust, a system that holds everyone accountable, both government and investors accountable to the Zambian people, so that beneficiation is to the Zambian people. That is needed. So if you achieve that, if you feel unsafe, it centers around the policy that you put in place, renegotiating bad contracts that you negotiated. KCN and Mopani, what are they contributing to our economy? Are we able to measure to say if everyone contributes to our economy? As far as we are concerned right now, the mines are not benefiting anyone, except those that have brought in these investors and the investors themselves. We need a proper plan, a proper transparent plan. If it means Zambians are going to buy shares in the running of these mines, let's give it to the Zambians to hold shares in those mines, so that we can see a direct benefit to the Zambians. Let government account properly for how they negotiate the contracts, so that we know that what we're going to get from these mines is going to be so much this year. What we anticipate to fund our budget coming from our resources is going to be so much. We can't forever be begging when those are getting, the ones we're begging from, are getting the resource from our country. We can't continue like that.
Still on mining, Honorable Zulu, I know artisanal miners, or the so-called Jirabos, are listening to you just now. The controversy surrounding artisanal miners has to deal with the dam sites. How best are you going to handle the dam sites if at all you are elected as a Republican president next year?
See, the issue of artisanal licenses, like I said, that is what is causing the problems on the Copper Belt. Because preference is being given to those that are wielding power. The locals that are supposed to be benefiting from those resources are being neglected, are being thrown to the streets. Other people who are connected to the party are the ones that are being given access to that resource. hence causing that confusion that we are seeing on the copper belt. No one is happy with what is going on. Those that have been given artisanal licenses, there are people that have had these licenses over time, but you find that there's a license over another license in the same area because the person who has been given is a member of a party. Let us look at everyone as a Zambian. Let us not victimize people because they got an artisanal license in the time PF was in power. And therefore, we have to victimize them as though they are not Zambians. These licenses are not for cadres. These licenses are not for affiliates. These licenses are not for people of a certain region. These licenses are for Zambians. Let us look at everyone as a Zambian who ought to benefit from the mining, from the local resource, be it mining, be it forestry, be it anything. Let us look at them as Zambians and empower them in areas that they need empowerment for them to be able to benefit. Pantu insalatarishwa tuyu, wa UPND, uyu, wa PF, uyu, ni FTT tarishwa insala. Insala isa kumunturi onse. So we have to ensure that when we're looking at giving opportunities, we look to give opportunities to all Zambians. The artisanal mining issues, I remember there was a promise that was made to them. Most of them were caught and they had a meeting at some house somewhere where they were told, we shall support you, we shall give you all the support that you need. Can one come and say, this is the support I was ever given by this government? There isn't anyone who can come up and say that. Instead, those that were helping the communities, those that were in business are being victimized now, such that they're absolutely broke by now. And all the efforts that have been making towards revamping their businesses or indeed going back into the business are being blocked by those that are closer to power. That should not be the same. Let's look at Zambians as eco-citizens who deserve equal opportunities.
To the health, or before we get to the health sector, Honorable Zuluu, let's discuss agriculture. How are you going to revive the agro sector? Let's discuss issues to deal with inputs. How cheaper will inputs be under your leadership, under your government? What plan do you have for the farmers?
Okay. To start with, governing is not a business enterprise. It is not about making a profit. It is about government looking at the welfare of the people. We must understand that. Because previously people were voting on the basis that we want to become a businessman. Running a business. Running a business and running a government are two different things. When you're running a government, you're looking at the welfare of the people. And you're looking at the welfare of the people, you look at how best can we make the Zambian people productive. It's for that reason that the Farmer Input Support Program was created to the need to make Zambians much more productive. Give Zambians access to the land, and with that access to the land, give them the inputs. When they have the inputs, they should be able to grow sufficient for themselves and sufficient to sell. This program targeted 1 million farmers in the last time that we were in government. And these farmers were being given 6 to 8 bags of fertilizers. And they were being given seed to grow, maize seed, and legumes to grow. We even went further and said we are going to have the e-voucher system where farmers were going to buy the seed that they wish to grow away from the traditional crop that we grow, to enable them make money using this means, meaning that we were funding production, we were subsidizing production. If we subsidize production, a farmer will find it cheaper to grow maize. If they find it cheaper to grow maize, we will be able to buy it cheaply. If we buy it cheaply, our maize meal is going to be cheap. Now, what has happened? This Farmer Input Support Program has been done badly. It has been killed. It has been molested in ways that have made our farmers less productive. Less productive because number fertilizer to Akanamameda. Seed is being shared markup. Is that what we signed up for? Is that the change that the Zambians wanted? There is no season where farmers have not complained about the shortage of fertilizers. In the time of PF, before there was change of government, it was government that was complaining to say people are saving fertilizer. That was the problem. It was a problem, and we had to put up roadblocks to ensure that the fertilizer that was being sold was recovered and given to those that were serious about the issue of farming. This time around, there is no one who is even smuggling one bag of fertilizer, because one bag of fertilizer is not even enough. That is given to them. They are made to share in cooperatives. Now, if you kill the cooperative movement in the agriculture sector, you'll have killed the economy altogether. You'll have killed our food security altogether. The cooperative movement, under which we were supplying this fertilizer and seed, was thriving. Now it has been killed. Certain cooperatives that were said to, or were suspected, or were members belonged to PF are no longer being given anything. And instead of taking advantage of rain belts, or indeed areas where it rains the most, like Northern Province, what did this government do? They reduced the number of beneficiaries in Northern Province, took away what was there, knowing very well that this is where it rains the most. They reduced the number of beneficiaries and took to Southern Province. Took to Southern Province, where we have been told by scientists that ukumfula tairelo kasana, even if we have so much fertilizers, or even if we have so much inputs, we cannot yield as much. I'm not suggesting that that they should be denied anything, or any person from any region should be denied anything. But what we are saying, or what we are suggesting, is that can we take advantage of the comparative advantage that people have in particular areas? The experience that we have in those particular areas, can we take advantage of those? Why are we, what informed the idea of reducing the number of beneficiaries? Why not just increase the number of beneficiaries in Southern Province, if at all we feel they have more potential to grow much more crop, and not reduce from Northern Province, instead increase even much more in Northern Province to take advantage of the rains that come in Northern Province by influence of the Congo flow. That is what we should be doing. And in that manner, we are going to be food secure. Congo will always buy food from Zambia. They will always buy food from Zambia. So let's increase production and sell to Congo. Malawi will always buy food from Zambia. Let us increase production in the east and make sure that we sell to Malawi. But what have we done? We have reduced the input program. We have gotten the little maize that we have in our reserves and sold. After selling, we have had to go begging to import maize and import it much more expensively, hence making the price of milling meal very high. Americans they complain to say, Tanzania, and instead of buying a mataba at a normal price, you've even exaggerated the price and you're even buying a mataba at a much more expensive price from Tanzania. Let's not forget that our Tanzania, Vareshta Mataba from Zambia, the time the government got excited and said, not for taking it, Karash Tisha. In fact, we encourage everyone to be selling. That's what they were telling us in Parliament, that they were going to be selling. After selling, they started saying, Nakibudida, Nomba, Ubunga, Wala, Dula, Padonas, our ego meeting, Wakala Mishisha Mataba. And this ego meeting, ZNS, was importing the maize from South Africa, importing from other countries, maize which ordinarily we should not have imported. And because it was forced to be. We are forced to sell it expensively, and most Zambians can't afford it. That is what we've done to the agricultural sector. We have killed it. And we are saying, let us improve on the farmer input support program. Let us diversify in our farming system. Let us go even as far as irrigation to provide equipment for Zambians to use irrigation methods. It is not wrong for us to say, Mma comes to higher agriculture. Let's mechanize farming. Let's buy them tractors in these areas, which cooperatives are going to use out of this farmer input support program. The farmer input support program is supposed to extend to mechanizing of the farming agricultural sector. We mechanize it, it means that the production will be higher. If in a camp, to become a tractor, it means that farmers, they will be using that tractor to irrigate a larger piece of land in the shortest possible time and give them extra time to do other things, to embark on other economic things. That is what we ought to do. In areas and their farms are possibly closer to where the water is, or indeed even further, why don't we include an irrigation component in the farmer input support program, so that as they get water from those rivers that we have, those dams that we have, those lakes that we have, we are going to realize so much from them. We are told that 45% of the water in the southern region is in Zambia. What are we doing with this 45% of the water? Is it waiting for us? Is it responding to our needs in the agriculture sector? We have failed to get dividends from our comparative advantage, which we have from as compared to other countries. We have failed. And these are areas that we have to look into. These are areas that improve agriculture sector. Yes. Let's mechanize. Let's improve on irrigation. Let's provide the seed and the inputs that farmers need. Let's subsidize production instead of subsidizing consumption, the way this government has been doing.
Let's look at your agenda insofar as governance is concerned. This Friday, the church, the Oasis Forum, they have organized a protest to State House because they are opposed to Bill 7. Are you joining in that protest, Honorable Zulu?
This government can be easily equated to Bachumbu Musholorwa, especially over Bill 7. They do not want to listen to what the people want. The idea of Bill 7 is intended to consolidate power. Now, what do you need that power for? You know the time you're coming into power that you only serve 2 terms. But you want to come in and change to say this system doesn't work. What hasn't worked? Because it's the same system that got you there. Already court ya bisala and Bill 7 tairi bwino panta mwaire ku bantu okubepusha abantu to finish barefwaya. You should have started with the people. Number, what have they done? They set up an illegal technical committee which is going around with the same content abantu from the beginning. Bill 7 yaisa abantu bakana, you go back. Then you bring it back. People refuse again. You say, okay, we are now going to consult the people. Even the manner of consulting the people, he said, change constitution, yes. Let the people, the owners of the document, be able to tell you. The reason the church is protesting, NGOs are protesting, is because abantu, we've been shut up by this the cyber security or cyber crimes bill. Abantu can't express themselves anymore. Organizations have to take up that position now. How are you going to govern people whom you've told to keep quiet? when they say things at Tule of court in seditious practice here, Avena Muniabo, Vadimjere, because they disagreed with the government, or the government did not agree with what they said. Mawatwala Fungo. Is that the country we want to live in? Umland was sedition. What do you call Munda Samundomo? Lintu Tatuapoka independence. Upon Lintu Apoka independence, no government has used that except this one. I'm a judge Baba Township Court because those judges do not seem to agree with their position. They are following the law. Is that the kind of government that we want? We want a government that rules by the principles and the laws that the people have agreed to say we want to be governed by these laws. Not others with different rules that are only intended to serve individuals. If Bill 7, they should drop it. They have to drop it. Because it's not responding to the aspirations of the people. People are saying to the Salah. What is government doing about that? Nothing. What is it that you want to achieve? We have to interrogate those issues. People are hungry. People want to eat. People want to have freedom to speak. Give them that freedom. No, I feel bad almost on a daily basis. Why have people been filled with so much fear for their government? Why should we be afraid of our government? If we follow we're supposed to be talking to them. We're supposed to be telling them what our problems are. But when at our current case,
still on Bill 7.
Let's make sure issues of governance, the laws that we apply should be applied equally.
Still on Bill 7, Honorable Zulu.
Put in place should be to serve the people of Zambia. Amakalat Avena Zambia is for service, not to punish. But Amakatule Abompia to punish people. That is where we are right now. And that is where we should be getting away from. By changing government to a government that is going to be tolerant to divergent views. A government that is going to allow people to assemble. A government that is going to allow people to express themselves. A government that will change the laws to better the lives of the people, not to prolong their stay in government.
As we dwell on Bill 7, what is your appeal to the lawmakers? And you touch on an interesting point, Honorable Zulu, changing government. On the other side, the governing party saying the opposition is scattered. They've got no chance of forming government. Your take on that, President Zulu?
See, that's where the problem is. I thought the government would be saying, if we start off Mepo, because we have made life better for Zambians, we are providing electricity to every home in Zambia, we are social cash transfer or the social welfare of the people is better, the health sector is better. Now this government is relying on the confusion of the opposition. Say, if we start off Mepo, Pantu, MPF, Vale with Shanyam. More position, they are not united. So if we talk of Mepo, that is showing you a government that has lost direction. They have lost a heart for the people. They have to rely on confusion in the opposition to prolong their stay in power. Are we going to allow them to do that? Certainly not. We're not going to allow them to do that.
Apologies.
So what are we doing?
Apologies, Honorable Zulu. Apologies, Honorable Zulu. It's almost an hour, and of course our timeline of our hour almost is going to elapse. Well, let's call you back on the other side. Stay tuned to Mafken FM. All right. Well, we continue on Political 360, and of course, Honorable Makebi Zuluu us online this afternoon, discussing his aspirations for the presidency as well as the nation.
Discussing his agenda for Zambia, he's dwelled on the issues centered on mining, agriculture, and before we let him go, we are looking at the governance. We're going to join him back after 2 minutes, but let's get it from our person in studio, Mr. Gift Chwale, the youth chairman, media coordinator for Umfrira. How do you describe Honorable Zuluu? He's said a lot of things in summary.
Nganamu yumfwila mwebene bakonfwa mwaumfwa kuti la Patriotic Front yalikwata intungulushi ishinga kwanisha ukuteka chino echalo nokulenga ubumi bwabekalo chalo ba Muzambia okutila bube bwino ukukuchula kuntutule chula nga mwatimu yumfwile kuntungulushi twaleta lelo. You can see that is more than capable to lead this country to prosperity. Echo ifwe pamonga ba Mufulira District Media Team twachitontonka nyokutila tutampya okulaleta ma candidates yesu. Pakuti aboba ruling nangwaba nesu ababa limu buteko abalando kutila ifwe tatukwete ntungulu shishingaleto buyantanshi mchalo chesu abene bala yumfuila ukutila na tukwate ntungulushi.
We've got a busy day, Mwengu. We've got a lot of programs lined up at exactly 19 hours. UPND is coming in studio. And at 2030, we've got another presidential hopeful in the name of Honorable Chitalu Chilufya coming through on Mafken FM radio. This is a paid-for radio program, and this is Political 360. On Political 360, we are talking to PF presidential hopeful Honorable Makebi Zuluu, and we are discussing his agenda for Zambia. Let's get back to issues centered on governance. There is no opposition in the country, Honorable Zuluu, like we have been listening and reading. Hence, UPND is getting back into power after August 2026. Your take on that?
Yes, as I was explaining, the reason for getting back into power for any reasonable government or any reasonable person or any reasonable party should never be that opposition takodi. My member friends are laughing at my member so what we were hoping to hear is that I'm a hospital to Arikula, I'm a school to Arikula, and that's the reason we will not leave power. We have improved the lives of people. To rely on a misfortune to stay in power is as good as witchcraft. Takwa abantu ulolea tatsesi uliakafwe elo takwate chichindu. Opo wambila no bulosha pepena. We have to look at governance and look at governance strictly as a means to provide for the people that we have given ourselves to govern. It's not a right, it's a privilege. So this privilege that the Zambian people have given us to govern, let us use it for the benefit of the Zambian people. Let us not sow seeds of discord. More opposition say, let's make sure they are fighting so that we continue in power. We have to respect democracy. We can't kill democracy for purposes of staying in power. Let us be watchful as Zambians. Next year we're going to vote. Let us make sure we go and vote and change government. It's not that the opposition is not united. The government is trying to divide the opposition, but it's up to all of us to unite, put up a united front, both as political parties and as Zambians, and through a legitimate way that is provided for, through the ballot, we remove these that are there for purposes of replacing them. We are not just going to vote for purposes of replacing them. We have to replace them with people that are committed to bringing development to our country, to patriots who are going to look to develop this country, people that love each other and want to see the best for it, people that look at the resources of the country as an opportunity to improve the lives of the Zambian people, not as a name, uksapo benefit pari fifinto. Therefore, Politics. Politics is for service. Politics is for human decency and human dignity. Not for them, but we have to ensure that the needs of the people, the rights of the people are respected and the people benefit from our governance.
Still on 2026, Honorable Zulu, do you see a rerun or it will be a one-off victory for the opposition?
We have an opportunity right now as opposition, and we'll keep saying this. We only have one Zambia, and there can only be one president at a time. Let us come together, put aside our selfish ambitions, and look at what is in the best interest of Zambia, what is in the best interest of the people in the Copper Belt, of the people in Northwestern Province, Eastern Province, Southern Province, all the provinces of Zambia. What is in the best interest of these people? Should we continue subjecting them to a rule by terror or oppression or persecution? Should this continue for another 5 years? Every normal person, every person living in Zambia and is experiencing the governance of this party in government who agree that we are at our worst in terms of democracy. We are at our worst in terms of development. We are at our worst in terms of issues to do with health. We are at our worst. The projects that were started previously have been stopped. The projects that we were even to start, where we were going to have a plant that was going to be producing generic medicines, such as the European Union had come on board to say, we are going to help you. We're going to give you a grant to build this factory where we're going to be producing these medicines. That is the agreement that we had gotten into. When UPND came, what did they do? They stopped. They said, we want to continue buying. And we now know what had been going on. How that money that was intended for medicines was misappropriated, how that medicines were expiring, how that the purchase, container from Egypt, we have been witnesses to that. We can't go back to that. We need a government that is responsible, a government that responds to the needs of the people. In terms of health, we need a government that will respond to the needs of the people. Agriculture, mining, in all sectors of the economy, we need a government that is going to be responding to the people, not a government that will kill the will of the people, terrorize people, shut them up, come up with laws that do not enable them to speak, and then thereafter say that takuli opposition. Takuli opposition because you think you have shut people up. People are going to express themselves in the ballot, and they will vote, and they know that they're going to vote for people that are going to give them answers. And we're available to provide those answers.
My next question is on the Public Order Act, Honorable Zulu. But before we get to the Public Order Act, let me push you again. Is it a rerun or a one-off victory for the opposition? Remember, 2.8 million voted for UPND 2021.
So my call for the opposition to come together and unite is so that we do not gamble. We do not need to gamble. If we all come together and face this monster that we have, we know that it is going to be a one-off. There will be no need for a runoff. There will be no need for a runoff because we'll have galvanized ideas. We'll have galvanized the answers or the potential that we all possess to offer to this country and give them to this country, unlike subjecting them to the rule by men, the rule that is away from the law. We can't afford that. Let us galvanize ourselves and let us unite under one cause, and that cause is the development of Zambia to better the lives of Zambians and change the fortunes of this country. We can't afford to go into this election divided. If we go into this election divided, that does not even mean that the UPND will win. It just means that we are going to waste more money going for a runoff, which we are still going to win anyways, but we can avoid that by going at it one time only, so that we can concentrate on governance issues. If we go for a runoff, we are still going to win, because that will be yet another opportunity to unite. A runoff is simply an opportunity to unite, to come together and form government as one, that is by different political parties. But why do it then when we can do it now? Why do we want to unite after we have a runoff when we can unite now? So my call right now is for unity in the opposition. Let's come together to serve the people of Zambia.
Your take on the Public Order Act. This piece of legislation remains contentious. We have seen political parties in opposition, and whilst in opposition, vehemently they condemn the Public Order Act. Let's get it from you, Honorable Zuluu. What is your honest submission on the Order Act? If Zambians give you the mandate, are you going to review? Are you going to scrap off the Public Order Act, which has been discussed since the 1950s? Up to now, is still contentious.
If you look at the Public Order Act, and if the Public Order Act was to be implemented in the manner in which it is, we would have less problems. The problem that we have is abuse of the Public Order Act. It has been abused back and forth, such that the changes that should be proposed to the Public Order Act should be changes that stop the abuse of the Public Order Act. Now, we have situations where no opposition party is holding rallies. Not because they can't, but because police always come up with excuses of manpower. They'll come up with every excuse that they have. But the law says you could go ahead and have it, provided you are able to provide stewards to maintain law and order. But the police think they must always be there. Of course, there will be need for the police to be there. Of course, you may have them there. But if you undertake to say we are going to have these stewards that are going to ensure that everything is orderly. Look at the overnight that was cancelled by the government recently. What threat did an overnight prayer meeting pose to the government, or indeed to the public? When people are already gathered, people had already started praying and dispersed them. What was the threat? That is an abuse of the Public Order Act. There was no threat that was there. But we see them trying to implement it. The very next day, State House at we didn't sanction it. Why was it State House answering an administrative issue? Why is the Office of the President responding to an administrative issue to do with the Public Order Act? That simply shows you that to implement the Public Order Act, who have a tendency of interfering in the implementation of the Public Order Act. Because that response should not have come from State House. That was a police issue. But the reason it was coming from State House, is because they like engaging themselves in matters which have got nothing to do with them. So the moment we have measures that ensure that people stick to their lanes, people understand that governing does not mean that kuba kapokola nuevo kapokola, ku parliament nuevo speaker, ku court nuevo judge, then we'll have a better government. Then we'll have better people in governance. When we know what our role is, you can't be everywhere at any given time. There are people that are supposed to carry out those roles, and they're supposed to carry out those roles independently. Ichamsevanya Church last week, was campaigning for President Hakainde Hichilema. Since when did you ever see a police officer a Deputy Inspector General of Police, campaigning in the manner, being a praise singer, in the manner that the Deputy IG was talking. That is an embarrassment to the governance of this country, not only local, but internationally. We expect our kapokola, our profession. But in Kamakwata Kapokola Kwatu, you know, president, then you know that there is no chance that democracy will be exercised in the manner that the Constitution provides that it should be provided for. In short, to challenge these actions, judges are compromised. Those who are not compromised are afraid. Those who are not afraid are being fired.
Can you just elaborate more on that, Honorable Zuluu? That's a sweeping statement.
No. It's not a sweeping statement. It's very specific. We have a judiciary that is timid right now. Timid because Marimona Constitutional Court, there were judges that were fired from the Constitutional Court over a matter that they were clear previously. Right, you are no longer judges. This government has fired more judges than all the governments combined in this short space of time. Judges or magistrates have been moved from place to place, and there's been interference in the manner that they carry out their work. That is there for everyone to see. Some matters are being delayed deliberately for a very long period of time and not saving the course of justice. That justice delayed is justice denied. And that is what's happening. In most cases, justice is being delayed, if at all it's being given. No one else goes to those courts. This fight against corruption is only intended to target a particular group of people belonging to a particular section of the society. And it doesn't spread across to those that are corrupt in this current government. That's what all was. And we have an opportunity to rectify this problem. That opportunity is drawing near. August 2026 is an opportunity to reset our country, to put it back on the rails of development, so that Abantu should be able to benefit from the very fact that they are citizens of Zambia. We can't classify citizens. We can't classify citizens and give preferential treatment to certain citizens. If we do that, that is why you have a lot of people that are disgruntled in the country. That is why you have a lot of people that are beaten. And they can't even express their bitterness because you have shut them up. We don't want to hear negativity. We can't the cost of living is very high. It's because all you hear are lies. We have an opportunity to be able to once again, and that opportunity is drawing near. Let's embrace that opportunity and speak truth to power as Zambians, as a people whose birthright we have not sold. We can't sell our birthright. Our birthright, my resources are in a. And these resources should be able to speak for us. That and we are benefiting from our resources. That is what I can say over that issue.
With 20 minutes before we close the show, touch briefly on the energy situation in the country and how you intend to resolve that problem before we leave the 15 minutes for you to directly talk to the Copper Belt.
See, the energy situation in Zambia is just bad manners. Why am I saying it's bad manners? It's bad manners because the projects that we had started as PF, otherwise, I decided those were not projects that they were going to concentrate on. They decided they are going to give us a Dubai formula. And I said to them, could Dubai because Dubai and they have power 24/7, then now they'll bring the Dubai formula. Now, for with or without currency, light. When they came, they found us working on the Luswati hydroelectric power station to provide power to Central and Muchinga provinces. What do? They discontinued these projects. We said, okay, each province should be able to have the means of production of power. For about 45% of water in the region. Finished in the field of in terms of power. But we did not only look at issues of Ama provinces, we also said, what other sources of energy can we have? We said, okay, let's set up a nuclear plant in Chongwe here in Lusaka to be able to provide power for Lusaka and other areas. We had intended to say we have to power industry. If we don't power our industries, there will be no development in this country. Leta shalesa, la Dangote, Larissa Esa, awachita kolekcha wakateka besu. Awachita kolekcha ama ministers besu. Without power, there is nowhere the country is going to go. But if you provide this energy, you don't even need to go and campaign. Because that barber there will be happy because he was able to run his barber shop very well. That welder will be happy because he was able to weld and make money. That person who's running a car shop, a restaurant, will be happy because they were able to use power to run the restaurant, instead of using other means that may be much more expensive. Because of this lack of power, we are in a worse off situation now because deforestation is very high number. Because people have to buy this charcoal. And this charcoal is not coming from Mulwerere, it's coming from the forest. People are cutting down trees. We are causing damage to our environment because we have failed to respond to the issue of power. We as government in the PF said instead of resorting to this issue, can we limit issues of power to at least 4 hours of load shedding? Let's dock this ship to Mozambique and have power evacuated into Zambia for purposes of running homes and industry. We had 4 hours of load shedding. What did they say? They said 4 hours of load shedding was poor leadership. What do you call 21 hours of load shedding? If 4 hours of load shedding is poor leadership. We said for the Shua hydropower upgrade in Mchinga, we said this was going to provide power to Mchinga. Have these people continued this project? No, they haven't. Luapula Power Project, which was to provide power in Luapula and Northern Province. What has happened to this project? They have stopped it. We don't have power in these places. Kabombo Power Plant, we wanted or we're working to generate power from this plant to provide power for Northwestern Province. What has happened? Nothing has happened. The Tonga Nuclear Power Plant, which I talked about, what has happened to this plant? It has been discontinued. People we trained have been left to roam the streets, and others have gone to serve other countries. And we trained these people at a very high cost. This government has thrown that aside. Katete Wind Power Project, it has been abandoned. All these issues were supposed to be responding to the power needs that we have. We can do nuclear power. Dangote. Because we told them the truth. We can set up more power stations and be able to power the whole country 24 hours. Be able to power industry 24 hours. These issues have to be dealt with. And the answer is here. The answer is changing government to a government that is going to implement these strategies. If UPN divide change, I am not radio program. Let them do this and show the people of Zambia that we are able to do this. But and it's not even their ideas. They can't even implement these ideas because they are not theirs. They are concentrated on benefiting themselves. But let's change government. We have that honor to serve this country. We have this honor as patriots to ensure that governance in this country is corrected, development is brought to the people of Zambia, and the people of Zambia enjoy the resources that God endowed them with. There's no other Zambia. That's the only land you can benefit from.
Your take on Kadarism in a minute before I ask you a final question.
Honorable Kasautu announced officially that Kadarism is back. The very people don't learn lessons. If you are PF, the biggest reason what finishepo abantu shaptira Kadarism. It am sevanya chachike masoshapa, but PF acting president was given Ruvinda. He was harassed by cadres. He was beaten by cadres. We have people on a daily basis. It was cadres again who are busy victimizing people. Now we are getting to know that it's UPND cadres that are being arrested for that. It has to be brought to a stop. This announcement to say Kadarism is officially back. Actually, they may. They can't bring it back because that is what saw PF lose power. Instead of making things better, as they promised to make things better, they have done very little. And not what Tuesday there's going to be a press briefing to address this issue. That issue doesn't even require a press briefing. It doesn't require a press briefing. It requires action on the part of the police. But the police itself has been Kadarized. So what do we do? The answer lies in us as the people not accepting to be fooled again and concentrating on what will change. And what will change is making sure that there's a change in the governance system, a change to a much more reliable people who ensure that they put up systems that will keep them accountable. Not depending on we shouldn't depend on good people. We have to depend on strong systems of governance. And those strong systems of governance start with you, the people, exercising your right to vote. Those that have not registered, go and register to vote. So that when you are voting, you'll be voting for a change of systems. You'll be voting for stronger systems. You'll be voting for limiting of power of politicians so that they do not abuse the power that is already given to them. You'll be voting for yourselves to say we need to liberate ourselves to be able to speak once again. You'll be voting yourselves to say we need to be able to express ourselves once again. If you do that, the course of this, or the trajectory this country is taking will shift to the right trajectory that will see all of us benefiting. And once more, we'll be able to sing our national anthem with pride. We'll be able to say, let's stand and sing of Zambia, proud and free. Land of work and joy, in unity, not in regionalism, not in tribalism, not in Akapatulula, no. In unity, we should sing of our country. We should stand to do what is best for our country. Those are many small things are what the Zambian people want. Change is what they desire right now, and change is coming.
My final question to you, Honorable Zuluu, and it's going to be loaded. Are you the chosen one? Are you the chosen one? And if yes, why are you the chosen one? And as you are answering this question, bear in mind that civil servants are listening to you, council workers are listening to you, the women and the youths are also listening to you, including the laggards who have not made up any political decision regarding your candidacy?
See, the people that choose is you, the Zambian people. And the chosen one will be after the election of 2026. Fiatulanda ati mwibirire mwebene otubayanda wasatati osadilira ile zibirire noka. The same way that Jesus said, don't cry for me, cry for yourselves, is what the message is. We are offering ourselves for service. We are offering ourselves for service to say, when we come in, this is what we intend to do. And you are going to determine the chosen one. You are going to choose who the chosen one is. And that is the essence of democracy. What we are offering for the Zambian people is an option of politics of decency. Not a politics of vengeance. Every day. We have to put those politics aside. If you are saying that we want a person who will not be vengeful in their governance, then yes, I am the chosen one. If you are saying we want a person who is going to prioritize the development of citizens, then yes, I am the chosen one. If you are saying that we want an agricultural system that is going to respond to the needs of the Zambians, make Zambia food secure again, then I'll tell you that I am the chosen one. If you want us to improve in the energy sector and bring back that energy that runs our industry, that runs that barbershop, that runs that salon, that runs that home, that enables students to study 24 hours as long as they want, the leader will respond and rectify that energy situation, I'll say I am the chosen one. But the question of saying I am is what we need to put aside. We need to do this together. Because it is not one person that is going to answer these questions. It is all of us. And if you agree, then it is no longer an I factor. It is no longer an I situation. When we are saying we are going to do this together. Because your vote cancels the I and says we makes it we. You're going to register to vote right now, cancels the I and brings in the we factor. And we're saying we as a people have to arise as a nation and choose the destiny that we want. We are only choosing a person to be in front of this journey to the destiny that God has set for us. And we are not choosing a person who will make everything about themselves like we have right now. We are going to choose a person who is going to take the forefront in leading us to this destination that God has set for us, using the very resources that God has given to us. So the answer to your question is that we, the Zambian people, are the chosen ones. And we, the Zambian people, can change the course of destiny of this country.
Honorable Makebi Zuluu, thank you so much for according us this opportunity to talk to you. And we hope to see you live on Mafken FM radio. And we wish you all the best and good luck.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on Mafken radio station. And thanks to the people of the Copper Belt for listening in, tuning in to this program. We look forward to yet another opportunity where we deal with more of the local issues that will respond to our needs. We deal with issues that will ensure that our future is brighter. Not just our future, that our children will not come and kick us and say, why didn't you do anything about it? They'll say our parents were brave and they did something about the oppression that they suffered. They did something about the economic situation that was going on. They did something about the energy situation. They did something about the agriculture situation. They did something about the health situation. And now we are living in a land of promise that we have endeavored, or that our forefathers have endeavored to lay the foundation for us. And we are only building on those blocks. Thanks for having me, and thanks to all the listeners for tuning in.
Okay, that was Honorable Makebi Zuluu on Political 360. A lot of issues, Mwengu. Honorable Makebi Zuluu there, PF presidential hopeful. Before we get to our guest in studio, Mr. Chwale, just a resume on Honorable Makebi Zuluu. He is a prominent figure. He is a lawyer practicing his trade in Lusaka. He's handled a number of prominent cases, defended a number of prominent persons, including late President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. He's been hired by former President, late President Rupia Bwezani Banda. He has served as a lawmaker for Lumezi. He's been Eastern Province Minister. He holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in law. He is an advocate of the High Court of Zambia. And when you'll be interested to know that Honorable Makebi Zuluu also holds a diploma in theology. He graduated recently with a diploma in theology. We have a long day to go. When 23rd, Honorable Chitalu Chirufya, another PF hopeful, will be our guest discussing his bid for the PF presidency. The listener out there might want to know that the PF will be holding its convention in a couple of days. At 19 hours, we have the UPND coming yet through Mafken FM with a sponsored program. This very program has been syndicated to a number of radio stations across the Copper Belt. We have been on Radio Garden, including other social media platforms. And I can see from the comments there, Mwengu, wow, the listenership is wide. I can see people in the diaspora, in the US, UK, Singapore,
South Africa.
Bulungu, South Africa. They have been following this very program. And we're going to get feedback. What do you think?
Let's get feedback.
Yes, we have 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go. Mr. Chwale, your take. Let us buttress, let us summarize what Honorable Makebi Zuluu has shared with the nation.
Wow, it has been indeed a very informative, interactive discussion we've had there. I can just say we are very proud. As Mufria District Media Team, we are very, very proud to have brought Honorable Makebi Zuluu as one of the presidential candidates to come and share with us his vision. And as you have heard, he has touched everywhere. He has touched the energy sector, the agriculture sector, the health sector. So we have a plan. We have a plan. Any of our candidates, if given the mantle, is capable to upset the tables and remove the UPND from power.
Okay, Mwengu, what's the phone line? I can see the eye opener from Kitwe. Kefas Chisange is calling. I can also see Mr. Godfrey Kamangu from the UPND have been calling, including several other residents. And we start with the calls or we get to the messages, Mwengu? Let's
start with the phone calls. Okay. 0762977977 is the number that gets you through this afternoon. Give us a call and share your contribution. Good afternoon. You're through to Political 360.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Mwengu. How are you?
Afternoon, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Chibare, good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Moyo is more bomba shina. That's in Mulanda Navasiano, the voice of people calling from Lundu Bashmisi. Na posha bon saba cha kumachechi, especially mukantanshi. Na posha nabaona likubesi ba kantanshi wanu wantoni mumba. Twatotela pakulanda okusumba niko bananyi bachibananyi bazulu emkwai ndondoro becho temwapwe demona tamuli selfish eba chikano fene bansale kanofe ne bansali yao emkwai so kire kwaika kumona tokweba umuntu wapitana ngo basumisha abashala babakingako nangula babaki nabo nocha choka mpene wene kana tene wene turefu akuno kwete ko at least muropa twa fresh ero fushite kulanda turefu ayiti akulanda tire chepa no chinka chitefi mwasanga no mbomi tumasaka lipabani so tipo turi bino turovero tuyaba itekana abena minambe nabeje kware kitama abena murundo nabo nsefye muno mucharo chese especially mupulira na tishukure kitama ku mining kindi kwa agriculture kindi apano mbani no mining kindi mulando ndesa kama no mukundorishani batabe ne balikoseresha so nangu bengalanda mukulekeresha okwebata kuli strong opposition yekwali natumuishi bano kumuyishira kesa mumana president kira kesa banomba 3 months to kwebata number to vote atotera tuli kuseresa mpati
0762977977 is the number you can call us on and share your contributions. Good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon. You're through to good afternoon, you're through to Mafken FM?
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Mwingi.
Afternoon, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Panel.
Mwabombeni mkwaika na besa.
Ndio mutende sana, the voice of Chio from Chingola.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much. Apana ingira utinatemwa Mafken radio. Ishi benga kula boku chinja muka tuwareko station yenu ku radio box. Ile katika bwino radio garden ya riva ndashupa ko. Ishi benga mula chinjanga ni mwenga chibashani.
Not a problem.
Mwatwala muku radio box kule mfwa bwino kai ku Chingola. Weba ikala mu Chingola sento era shupa Mafken pamwa bali kumuluku.
Okay.
Kumanchanga. Yeah, coming to the issue yaba Makebi Zuluu. Explanation yabo ile umfuika. Nyesho bare onda fiance. Now, iringirine ngabala isho kulabule ma UPND administration atumfuira bachanda pama judges. Napali issue ya pama judges. Atumfogwe bati yo ubuteko wa UPND wachinja sana ya ma judges ukupusana ko na mabuteko yami. Ilio UPND government yaishire mu maka 2021 wali ama statement ya mokuma cabinet ministers yo bapangire ya para bagiven ulinda ero na baboma ni Lusambo ukwebati UPND kafiro okuteka omulando wakwebati ama government institutions yayengi na mu ministries natukwata abantu abaliro ku PF nombelero bazulu kuti basashani mukulira abene bali create problem. Because when I'm talking about Tondolo, I don't think so. The UPND government would have taken that step. Yakumonokweba tibapanga, batampi ama judges bamo, judicial system. So abene, by the problem, so to have no comprehend. Thank you very much.
All right, 0762977977 is the number you can simply call me, text me on, and share your thoughts and contributions. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you, Mr. Mwango?
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Mwango.
Mr. Chiwale, the chairman, how are you?
Mwabombeni mkwaiba MCC.
Twabomba fe bwino lwa kushimpa lwali nane wenendefu okusansha apo palifira batira pafu abantu pashala abantu then butungurushi tebwa kushitana ngu wa kushita impose bashiti bale ntungurushi tushumvira mukulanda. So what I'm trying to say is leadership mu PF tamwa ba shortage ya leadership. Then inge charo tachakwata shortage ya leadership. Then for those who are trying to entice and to persecute those people abarelandira bena Zambia bare ishupa fye because icharo echi chari kwata inkonka ya chiko ero icharo traditionally culture kwata icharo Zambia. So those who are saying takuri opposition ni ne mwena bamishe bare pita muya muri fira turanda muchibe mbati firoro wa mapanga ngana bati firoro wa mapanga fira batiro mushi wapona mwenzara bawishibira kunkoko. So kulanda vye chinka pafyo batura ile fira tiro muno wa musunga wendo konkomana inaishire muna fenangu fe chimo because abantu muzambia bale chula. Yesterday I was in Rusaka, Karingaringa, Baureni na alienda sana kumunefya abena Zambia bale pakaswa. Otherwise ile sana tufunda po ekirangiro chakwe bati tatwakatera tuwekesha hapo turerolera fede ya kuvota. Otherwise ni new fiance ni new.
All right, thank you Mr. Mwango. 0762977977. Good afternoon.
Chungulo mwabombeni ba mwengo
mtende babomba shani mkwae
mkwae ndetumye n'okufuma ku mulundu nebo chawozi
mkwae ba chawozi
ndefo yokulanda okwebati it's very unfortunately kuli ba Makebi information bachipera about mulundu pe skulu vale ndo kukwata information panturela ndafo bena mulundu emisepera shonse ko shiswile kulebo okubombera pe skulu pali abale ku nombana chisa umfoko bati yali abandoned mu PF Apollo yabari jumdi bonse misepera kuno ku mulundu eko bayisura. Number 2 mukuchita criticize konso ko bachitire criticize mu sectors yonse ichabulanda twakwata nga bena mufurya nangwa bena Zambia tabalandirepo pama alternative pafyo bachira chita criticize. So we want the reader ngachita criticize atupera alternative yakuli ichwale chita criticize. Thank you.
0762977977. This is Political 360. Good afternoon. Mwabombeni mkwai?
Hello.
Mwabombeni mkwai?
Mafken radio.
Mkwai, amashina ndo kwa bale tumina bafyashi mkwai.
Kefas Tisange, Mr. Eye Opener.
Mr. Tisange, good afternoon. Good to know you're tuned in this afternoon.
Good afternoon, comrade. Good afternoon, Mamoyo.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
Fine, Makefas. It's been long. We hope to see you in studio one of these fine
days.
Yeah,
I'll be in studio. God willing, I'll be in studio this week or next week.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to... I picked some points that our colleague, our comrade Makebi has been sharing with the people of Zambia. You know, one thing that I have to say before I dive into the issues, I'm somehow disappointed because that looking at him being a learned lawyer, he was supposed to be bringing up issues, real issues. I'm talking of real issues than just street talk. Because most of the issues that he was talking about, Nimbako Nkasani, Ayengi, he was talking about street talk to Fakubantu, Akata, Nawashan. Now, he talked of investors. Him is a lawyer, and I hope he's listening. These are questions that I'm asking him. He said the investors are coming in this country and are borrowing. Do we have any law as a lawyer which bans investors to borrow in this country? That's number one. Number two, the issue of the thing will come last. He also mentioned about the issue of stopping projects. Is he aware that before 2021 elections, the Minister of Finance then, Ngandu Magandi, went on the floor of the House to announce that all the projects countrywide, which were below 80%, were going to be stopped because there was no funding? Is he aware? Because I heard him accusing that on the UPMD. So if he's listening, I want also him to respond on that.
All right.
On the constitution, allow me. Let me just conclude. On the constitution, we're saying no, it's not the right time to alter the constitution. But he's a lawyer. You need to understand that the constitution is a living document. Things when needs be, it can be altered. Then, lastly, I want to talk about the funeral. I think in nachimponya pamusa ukuri wa Makebi. Takwa wakalamba umuntu na wawiso wako na sister we ari munganda munambu kwa techiriro. Ero wasofa kulingeji na kuli bola wa mukutamba bola wa shechiriro panganda. Abantu bala kumona shana. Because the first thing that Makebi was supposed to do was to respect the board of Mr. Lungu, no kushika. Elo simbiki akonka. Pungapi abashani bena bacha board de South Africa.
I know we're going to have a one-on-one sit-up with me, but is he a threat to you?
No, it's not a threat. Let me tell you this. I have to tell you here, and mark my words. As we speak right now, the PF is in limbo. And this is why you are seeing everybody, no one who that never president. Why? Because they have seen the type of leadership that is in PF.
Okay, we'll leave it there, Makefas. But what we'll do, we'll give you a free interview. Possibly you come and have a debate with Mr. Gifter Chivale. I'm looking at my time and my producer is telling me we are overrunning.
No problem.
I'll call you later. We're going to have a debate in studio with you between tomorrow and Friday. Thanks. Okay,
thank you so much. You are most welcome.
That's the eye opener. I know
right.
You can go on and on.
I know that having hosted a hopeful presidential candidate Makebi Zuluu, especially other opponents of Honorable Makebi Zuluu and the Patriotic Front will come through and share their thoughts. I'm looking forward to hear what others have to say in regard to some of the phone calls. Right.
2030 Mwengu, don't forget.
Good afternoon. You're through to Political 360.
Good afternoon, Mr. Nishet. Good afternoon, Mr. Chivale and Mr. Mango.
Good afternoon, thank you.
My name is Chibiliti.
Yes, Mr. Chibiliti, please go ahead.
Yeah, bakalamba mshwali kwene kya chiralo ndiro mwana wa muntu ngachakola tuko peko fibi na mfutatu nishikalanda sana ngozi kisuma bakalamba omuntu nalo ndiro rafi yintu akweba timu nangu tawasambirira nangu alisambirira tawumfu ana ngutawumfu uli nkomi amatu para kuti wakumo kama tu wakopa mu fibi na mfutatu abero ba opposition badeisa puka floor bade bapomwera. Let's try to rain one or two things to tapping akwache, but if you want to panga sense no banga chaka to agara fokura atari ka chawo murera nda tafiri buino if ya chira na tafiri buino because there are concerns there background ya abantu bari dishanya era kutosa matu muntu asamukura randa chawo murera nda cha chira randa cha chira randa buino nishibule tira tisharu kucha pantanshi ba ni sheki because umuntu ngamye bachawo ishira kupangira mama light next ishira kwatra mwefi yakulia next ishira kufisha mama chito next ishira kusungira mama mainzi next era yuwasa nda chawo solera nda cha kulunda ma light na nguja kusefi tafiri buino kwa nishibule tira tisharu chesu kucha pantanshi chanto ashokula sambilo okula kopa kwa mano na mano balakopa era vefi achiriro bakalamba bible randa ti ekenya abafu abashika abafu abanabo then that's why kalire po muchiyo chimuchino wayo in Saturday tuminishi ichachi anacho bafuna wa understand Makebi Zuluu alife nga representative wa family tali ngo muntu mwako chinuru poli pakati ka mutima we so turefo kusecha ama leaders I'm sure much understand buno mwe bale ngumfa bonze.
Alright.
Makebi Zuluu alife ni representative ngefala mwebere munga kwata mwe bali uko kutumwa kwata lawyer pasita mwe nenga amuna tifinti tamanfi yabo katireko sakwa bare donza no rupono buteko kutumwa abashawata mkuraru wa fimbi.
All right. We appreciate your contribution, Mr. Chibiliti. I can tell emotions in his tone of his voice as he shares his thoughts.
Yeah, quite emotive.
Yeah.
In summary, we'll give you 2 minutes, Bachibari.
Ifwe ukuleta kwesuba Makebi Zuluu is not to cast any aspersions or trying to tell the people of Mufulira that this is the best candidate. But we want to tell you that we have got the best in our camp. And one of them is Makebi Zuluu. The same way that we have brought another aspiring candidate before, we have brought President Makebi Zuluu today. And you, the delegates, you, the members of the Patriotic Front, have got time now to analyze and choose a leader. Dionse mwalela nda mweba PF kutila. Mulefu aye ntungulushi. Intungulushi nomba na shisa. Ba Makebi Zuluu na balando kutila, I have given myself to the people so that they can see me and make a decision. Ukulanda kwa ba Makebi Zuluu balandiri atinga chakuti twaya ku convention, and I want to emphasize this. We are going to the convention. We don't want people who want to play underhand methods. And we as Mufulira district, we have not endorsed any candidate. We want to underline that. We ask our leaders not to endorse any candidate. We need to wait. Tumfwe bonse ama candidate besu. Ngefifine tulechita tuwaleta ba Makebi Zuluu, ba 2030 tuwalaleta ba chitalukirufya, na bambi kuntanshiba kesa, ukutira tubonfwe. Kuli ba chanda katotobwe, kuli ba abenge ama candidates bantu kwete ba mausampa, na bena baleisa. Muka bonfwe bonse. Nga mwabonfwa mwapelulula elo tukaye ku convention muka tuchite advise ukutila kabieni kasaleni uyu candidate. Because nga chakuti mwapanga decision ino nchitokulanda okutila lekeni tuchite endorse uyu ili yotamula umfwa bambia ma candidates, we are going to make a mistake. Ama elections ya 2026 te yakutwalira kwa masangi. Lekeni tubomfwa ma candidates bantu tukwete. Before we make any endorsements, let us not bring confusion. Let us not do illegalities. We want a candidate that is capable of removing the UPND government next year. So we as Mufulira district, we decided to bring our candidates on this radio station so that those people who have got no chance, abashakwata chance, iya kumfuako, abashiri ama delegates, kutiba umfuako kutila ama candidates ya Patriotic Front, niaba,
Thank
Nefio
you so much.
Balelanda.
That's Mr. Gift Chivale, spokesperson for you, for the PF.
No, I'm not UPND. I'll never be.
I don't know what is on my mind. Thank you so much, Mr. Giftware from the PF. In case you want to make an appearance on Political 360, you can come through our marketing office, or you can call this number 0962 962 967 0962 962 967. This has been a special paid for program. We are having another special paid for program at 2030 Mwengu, where we talk to Dr. Chitalu Chilufya, the PF aspiring presidential candidate. And Mwengu, all things being equal, perhaps next week we might have Mr. Willa Mudoro. Mr. Willa Mudoro from the PF.
Right.
I missed his call by a whiskey, but I spoke to his team and he had wanted to appear on radio 2 days ago. Back to you, Mwengu.
Looking forward to looking forward and hoping to have him on set, just to also get his aspirations as he aspires for the PF presidency, as well as the 2026 general elections. Mr. Chibale, thank you very much, and of course, thank you for being part of today's edition of the program.
Thank you.